Hello, everyone, and welcome you all to another chapter of the Advanced CapCut tutorial. So now we are on our chapter number 6, where we'll be creating some custom LUTs. Okay, so I'll be showing you guys that how you can download LUTs from your browser, which you can use inside your video. We will also learn that how you can manipulate and also adjust that into an adjustment layer or directly apply it on a video. So let's not waste much time and let's get started. So over here on my screen, as you guys can see now, I'm here in the home page of CapCut. And first thing first, let's create up a new project. So let's click on create project, which will lead me to this particular interface in which we are going to work. First things going to be importing the videos and the audios using which I do want to work with. And if you don't have downloaded those videos, you do have different videos, different kind of audios inside your stock materials as well. Okay, so you guys can basically download things from here as well. Under the stock option here, you guys can see, and you can also search according to yourself, like what kind of videos and what kind of images you require. Okay, so as I already do have the videos, I will click on import option, and from import, let's select some videos. Okay, so let me just take few of this. Let's click on open, and as you guys can see, basically the 6 videos is being imported over here. So if you don't want to change up the name, okay, you guys can just go here on top and you guys can just change the name as well. So I will just name this one as custom LUTs. Okay, and just click anywhere outside and the name will basically be saved. So let's check out all of this video. Let's say if I do want to work on with this video, I can basically check it right over here. I can actually trim down the video from here as well. Let me just trim it down uh, till here. Okay, so I'll just take this 20 minutes of footage and let's say I will drag it down into my timeline. Okay, and also if you want to take some other videos, okay, you can just take this particular video, you can preview it right over here. And let's say I do want to trim down the video, maybe a small part of it, and let's drag and drop this one over here as well. And lastly, let's take this video and let's trim it down, and I will just drag and drop it right over here. Once I'm done, let's click on Control Z to zoom to fit in the timeline. Okay, you guys can just click here like Shift plus Z to zoom to fit in here in the timeline. And if you just want to go back, you guys can just click on Control Z to go back. And if you do want to reset, okay, you guys can just reset the whole thing from here as well, using this button like undo and the redo button. Okay, you can also call it the reset. So let's zoom to fit here in the timeline. And now if you just take out a look over here, the total duration of the video is 41 seconds and 42 frames. Okay. So now if you want to put on some LUTs, let's say onto the video, so what you gonna do? First thing first, you need to go out over here on top of this adjustment panel over here. Okay, so as you guys can see, I do have this adjustment panel, and underneath here, you do have an option called the LUTs. Okay, so if you don't have any LUTs, there are few method of how you guys can download it. Just go to your browser and you guys can just search for LUTs for CapCut, and you will be able to see there are many websites from where you guys can just download these LUTs totally free. Okay, and make sure to download it, and you guys can just import those LUTs later as well. Okay, so if you want to browse it, if you do want to download it, just click onto that, and you guys can just click on download LUT, and that particular LUT will basically get downloaded. Okay, so likewise you do have a lot of these LUTs. So let's close it down right now, and I already have downloaded one. So let's click on import. And now here you guys can see I do have this LUT pack. Let's double click on this, and here now you guys can see that there are all of these LUTs. So I'll just click on shift and let's click on open. And all these 8 LUTs are basically being added. So here you guys can see how it looks with each one. Okay, so here now if I just double click, you guys can see it is actually changing of how it looks. Okay, so if you do want to apply it right over here, what you guys can do is you guys can basically import it. Let's say if you do want to add it in the track, you guys can basically add it inside the track. Let's click on delete right over here. So if I just click on this now, let's double click right over here into this particular set of LUT. Let's go to presets. You guys can see there are a lot of options in the presets as well. Okay, but let's come here, and as I do want to apply this LUT right over here, what I can do is I can just bring it down over here, and as an adjustment layer I can just choose till where I do want to apply the LUT. Okay, so under this adjustment panel here you guys can see I can choose what's going to be the intensity of the LUT which I have chosen. Okay, and here you guys can see the intensity option, and also over here you guys can use keyframes. Let's say at start I want a 0 intensity. Okay, so I will just click on this add keyframe, and till the time it appears right over here I want the intensity to be 100. Okay, so now if you take a look how it's actually going to look like. So let's come right over here. If you do want to adjust it, let's come here. I will just restore it, and let's see how this actually looks. So let's play it and hear how it basically changes. And also over here, you guys can see here in the properties panel that you guys can come here and basically work on with the temperature. Let's say if you want to make the temperature 10% more over here, then you can just add a keyframe. Okay, let's say I do want to add a keyframe, and once it moves till here, by that time I want you to make it maybe around -15. Okay, so you guys can see the total changes over here. If I just play this thing, you guys can see the intensity changed, and from here you guys will be able to see from a warm temperature it is basically changing down to a low temperature. Okay, you guys can see that particular intensity and that particular work of the keyframe basically gives up a new look to my video in which I am working on. And same way you guys can basically change out the tint, the level of saturation, the exposure, contrast, or whites and the blacks. If you do want to sharpen it, maybe you want to clarify it or fade in or fade out, you guys can do all of this as well. So this was one way of applying a LUT inside your video, and that is how you guys can customize it as well. Okay, so let me just show you guys the other way of applying a LUT inside your video. Okay, like instead of applying it on an adjustment layer, if you want to apply your LUT directly onto the video, what you guys can do is you guys can just go to the properties panel of the video. From there, go to this adjustment panel, and from the adjustment panel, let's go to name. And from here, you guys can already see that the file which you have imported from there, all the LUTs are now available for you to work on with. Okay, so you guys can apply these things. Let's say, let's come here on this video. And now I can just check that which one actually looks good. Okay, you guys can just see the changes on my video. Let's see, this one gives up a more natural look. Okay, and also if you do want to add on keyframes and intensity, if you do want to increase it eventually, likewise you guys can come here, and maybe once it comes right over here, I want to increase the intensity to 100%. So now let's play it. So here you guys can see how it actually changes right over here. You guys can see, let's just play it out, and here you guys can see it's getting a more cinematic view towards that. Okay, so that's how you guys can change the intensity of this particular video, and this is another way of applying it. And under this adjust option, if you do want to adjust these things, you guys can also do that. Okay, and lastly, I do want to tell that if you just take a adjustment layer, let's click on custom adjustment, and I can just take this adjustment layer and maybe go into this third video, and instead of applying any LUT right over here, I will just turn off the LUT. And what I can do is I can just come here and basically work on with the temperature. Okay, so let's come here and I will just decrease the temperature. Let's decrease the tint as well. Let's go on with the saturation. Okay, let's come here. Let's start from here. Let's add out a keyframe. Okay, and at this particular point, you can move the keyframes as well. So once it comes to this particular point, what I want to do is I want to increase the saturation to exactly 0. So let's play it up. Let's see how it actually looks. And slowly it just fades in the color. Let's come here. Let's play it out. And yeah, this basically gives out a nice look. You can work on with the level of exposure, the level of contrast, and the highlight as well. You can sharpen this particular video, clarify it. If you want to fade in and fade out, you can add on these effects as well. So if you do want to do it, let's say at last, let's come here at starting. I do want to increase the fade in. Let's add one right over here. Okay, otherwise let's dismiss this one and let's keep one right over here. Let's add a keyframe, and under this fade option, what I can do is I can just move out this, and let's add this fade out option as well. And now let's see how it actually looks. So this is how it will just turn out the color, and you guys will be able to see the fade out as well. Okay, so that's how it basically works. And yeah, I hope you guys have understood this class. on how to actually customize a LUT, how you can download one, apply it inside your video. Okay, and under this adjustment layer, you do have this HSL curve as well. Okay, you do have this color curves. If you do want to focus in a group of colors, you guys can basically do that as well. Okay, and lastly, if you do want to add on some audio, you guys can go to this audio section, and from here you guys can search for any artist or any kind of uh audio you like. Let's go with some cinematic. Okay, so cinematic. Let's click on enter. Let's see what are the recommendations that CapCut do have here for me. You can also listen to all this audio as well. Let's try to play those up. Let's play this one as well. So well, I like this audio, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come here and basically apply this audio, maybe trim it down a bit from the start, and let's put out a cut as well. Okay, let's split it up right over here, and now let's select this again. Let's click on delete. Now zoom to fit over here in the timeline, and let's review this particular video. So yeah, I hope you guys do have understood this particular class. And in this video, you guys can actually add a few transitions in between. Well, let's go to transitions. Let's check these transitions. Okay, so let me just go on with this particular transitions. Well, let me just put this one over here in between, and let's go with this one here as well. Let me just decrease the duration, and now let's only review this position of transition. Okay, so let's come here, let's play it. Well, I can just increase this one a bit. Well, let me just come right over here. Let's play it from here. And let's decrease the duration over here. Let's see how it looks. 0.3 is going to be fine. And yeah, I hope this class was clear on how to create a video using different kind of LUTs. I have showed you guys different ways of to do so. Now the last thing is you need to export this particular file. So to export, let's click on to this export option over here on top. The name is custom LUTs, and I want to export this to my resource file. Okay, and I will just select this particular folder. Let's go desktop, and right over here I'll just select the folder. The resolution is fine. The audio format is MP3. If you do want to check copyright, you guys can check copyright as well, but it doesn't apply if your video is less than a minute. So I hope to see you all in the next chapter where we're gonna learn more about CapCut. So see you all.